This is the 2025 GMC Sierra 2500 HD AT4. Is it the ultimate luxury workhorse? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're at Morgan Buick GMC in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we're going to go over the particulars on this Onyx Black 2500 AT4 and give you the particulars. If you want to know more about this particular truck or anything else they have in inventory, check out the link down in the description of the video. Here is your remote for 2025. That's what it's going to look like. Remote start, lock, unlock. You can open your power tailgate. Now this particular model will not have the power up for the tailgate because it's the multi-pro tailgate. You're going to have the conventional tailgate for that to be the case, to be power up and power down. And being the AT4, we're going to see some differences not only with the grille here, you'll have your AT4 logo right there, but also with the red recovery hooks. Full LED lighting with your headlights, daytime running lights, got your turn signals right there built in as well. And we'll also see that we have a lot of exterior lighting that has a lot of advantages. Not only here on the outside of the mirrors, you're going to have your turn signal indicators built in. You're also going to have the lighting built in right there. These are power adjustable mirrors, power folding, heated. They also are going to be towing mirrors, and I'll show you how all this functionality works in just a bit. So they will extend out, and you can set them as far as your power folding functionality to fold in or out depending on whether the vehicle is locked or unlocked, or you can just leave it like it is and they just stay in position when you turn the vehicle off and lock the doors. Just depends on your personal preferences. We're also going to have LED fog lights. I didn't mention that earlier in the video, down there on the lower portion of the front end. Your tire and wheel setup will be 275 on the width, a 65 series sidewall wrapped around those gloss black 20-inch wheels. I love the look of the gloss black wheels, but I wonder how are they going to hold up if you do any off-roading. This truck will come on the AT4 trim level with a 1.5-inch factory installed suspension lift. And you'll also find the Multimatic DSSV dampers, and you'll also find the off-road suspension with the Rancho shocks. When we work our way up here to the doors, you're going to have on your body colored door handles, at least on the front door, you're going to have passive entry. When you have the remote on your person, you can walk up and lock or unlock the doors from that position. I'd like to see that added to the rear doors, especially for people who are coming back here first, whether it's with the kids or whatever the case is. That seems like it would be more convenient. And we'll have the power assist steps right here, which will deploy when you open the doors, and when you close the doors, those are going to go back under the truck. You will have to close the door all the way, which I guess that was all the way. I didn't think it closed all the way, but it did. You can actually go into your infotainment screen and leave that deployed on both sides of the truck if you so desire. It just depends on your situation. Maybe you're washing the truck. You can use that also. Let me show you one interesting thing here. When they're deployed, if you're concerned about somebody parked next to you hitting your truck and causing door dings, depending on the height of their vehicle, you could leave those deployed where they would hit the step before they would hit the truck. That's a nice little added bonus. You're going to have the bed step right here that makes it very easy to gain access to the front of the bed if you need to do that. We also have the cab light up there. And speaking of steps, not only with the front portion of the bed, but the rear as well. We're going to have the corner steps right here, one on each side of the bumper here. That makes it easier to gain access to this area, but there's other ways we're going to look at that too, or can do that too, and we'll look at that in just a second. LED tail lights, and you'll also have a light right here. Now let me show you real quick so you can know how to turn all of this stuff on and off. It's going to be located right here with your functionality for your headlights. There's your cab light, and there's the other lighting that I was telling you about. When it comes to your tailgate with this multi-pro tailgate, there's a lot going on here. Now you can use it as a conventional tailgate, but that's not where it stops. If you need to do that, well, there you go. It's that simple. But you also can push this button right here and use this area as a table. Could serve a lot of purposes. You could also just open that up when you're driving down the road with cargo that may stick out a little bit. It's easier to deal with that way, or you can use it as a bed extender in the same situation if you have something that will butt up against that. But that's not all. And this next feature is one of my favorites personally. I have this tailgate on my personal truck, and I like that when I lower that area with the tailgate down, if I don't need to hop all the way into the bed, but maybe there's something back here and I just want to reach in without using the bed step or the corner step, I can do this from here. I can just reach right up in here, no big deal. I can gain access to the power outlet. You also have your in-bed LED lighting. That's part of that button I showed you earlier that turns on the other lighting on the vehicle. You have your spray in-bed liner here and all that good stuff. Now, we're not finished here yet because there actually is one more way that you can use this bed extender right here. So if you need to use this as a bed extender, you can do it this way. But its main purpose is really to be used as a step to make it easier to gain access to and from the bed, especially with the height of the truck. When you have a 1500, I find that I can get in very easily without using that grab handle. But with the 2500s, especially with that 1.5-inch suspension lift on this AT4, that comes in very handy, and you can use that handle right there to make it even easier. And to prevent any issues with slipping, if your shoes are wet, the bottom of your shoes are wet, you've got a very coarse material right here. It reminds me of grip tape on a skateboard that helps out with that sure-footedness. And one more little trick when it comes to the tailgate. If you have a trailer hitch mounted back here, you definitely don't want to open the tailgate with this area in the down position because it's going to hit that trailer hitch and potentially damage your tailgate, and that's not cheap to fix. However, if you hold this button down, and we're going to watch for the lights to blink back here, the tail lights to blink, it takes 10 seconds. It's coming, I promise. There we go. Now, what's going to happen when I push that button? Nothing is going to happen. That way, you know for sure that you don't damage the tailgate. And to change that, to turn that feature off, you're just going to hold the button down again, wait that 10 seconds for the tail lights to flash again, and you know you're good to go to take full advantage of the Multi-Pro tailgate and all of its uses. Under the hood is the 6.6 liter Duramax diesel. It makes a strong 470 horsepower, 975 pounds-feet of torque, and all of that is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And we'll walk back here and give you some information you often don't get in these videos, and that is the fact that your fuel tank is 36 gallons in capacity. And before we move on to towing capacity and all that good stuff, I did want to return to the front end here for those who might wonder if this scoop is actually functional. Yes, it is. There are some differences here as far as your payload and towing when compared to other trim levels. 3,471 pounds of payload and 16,000 pounds of towing capacity. It's not a massive difference, about 2,000 pounds difference on your towing when compared to, say, the SLT, such as my truck, which has the same powertrain. It can tow up to 18,000 pounds. And here we go with the interior. We're gonna have a jet black interior with Kalahari accents. That's this color right here. A lot easier to see on the seats. Very large armrests. That's something I really like about these trucks, and large door bins for your rear seat passengers. We'll also find the in-seat storage, one of my favorite features. I take full advantage of that on both sides with my own personal truck, which, by the way, if anybody wants to know, it is an SLT, not an AT4. You can raise the seat cushions up to help out with gaining access to the storage space under there, and the tools to change a tire. I didn't talk about this earlier. There is a spare tire located underneath the truck. Right on cue, you can see it right there. It's almost as if I did that on purpose. Lots of space right here in the interior. I really like that. It makes it so enjoyable for your rear seat passengers to ride back here. In fact, I've ridden in the back seat of a friend's truck that's identical to this one, a different exterior color, but it's the same truck. Plenty of room, plenty of storage, rear seat pockets, couple of cup holders right here, air conditioning vents that I think should be larger. Maybe we'll see that in the future when this truck gets a full redesign. We'll have the heated outboard seats and a couple of USB ports right there. You'll also find the fold-down armrest with the cup holders built in. The rear window has a defogger on it, and this is a power opening, power sliding window. We'll also find a sunroof here. Now, I know a lot of you would like to see a panoramic sunroof at some point in the future. Right now, this is all we have. It does tilt and slide open. And here is the driver's side door panel. For the most part, the same theme we're going to see on the passenger side, with the exception of all of the controls here for your power windows, and your power mirrors. And I'm going to push that button right there, and that's going to allow me to use that power folding function that I told you about earlier. Plenty of room with the armrest, just like the back seat, and plenty of room with the door bin space as far as that goes. You're going to have lumbar support on the driver and passenger seats, and both are fully adjustable. Now here's something else that I like. You have the all-weather mats with the carpet inserts, but you can take those out. You can see the little snap right there. I don't know if I can get my hand underneath there to get that out. Let's see. There we go. I'm not going to take it all the way out, but you can unsnap all of those and take the carpeted portion out if you're going to be doing some off-roading or whatever you and your passengers are doing that could potentially get that area dirty. We'll find the power parking brake right here, our driving modes here, and the controls for your lighting. You also have a head-up display. All of that is controlled right here. If you want to turn your auto high beams on or off, that button is located right here. When you hop into your truck, you'll see the animated graphics that come up on the dual screens. So that's what we're going to have where that is concerned. A very nice look, and it actually works its way over onto the infotainment screen, just so you can see what's here. I know a lot of people are going to say that's not a big deal. I understand that. I just wanted to show you what is here so you can know. Now, we're going to have a very simplistic to use setup here. And you might notice a little bit of a different look with the driver's display. The way I did that was using the controls right here. So I'm going to arrow over one time, and then I can use this toggle right here, or the scroll wheel, to work my way back and forth through presets as far as the instrument cluster goes. So here's one that's going to be clean, and you had digital is what I had first. We're going to have progressive, and then classic you're used to seeing. That's the first thing you typically see in these trucks. So if you wanted to see that, there it is. You can also change what is on the left side, the right side, and the lower gauges. Now you'll have everything here for your adaptive cruise control, all of that. And then over here, we're going to have the controls for the windshield wipers and everything to do with that, and cleaning your windshield off. Now, one thing I didn't show earlier in the video that I normally do is the front camera. And the reason I like to do that is because you have a front camera washer. And to activate that, you're going to use this button right here. You don't have to have it on the screen, but when you do, here's what happens. It sprays a stream of windshield washer across that front camera. So just something I like to show. Pretty easy to deal with, pretty easy to use. If you ever see any kind of moisture up there and you're not sure where it came from, that's most likely what it is. And something else that I know a lot of you like with these trucks is a good old-fashioned column shifter instead of having something down here, or God forbid, a push button shifter. I know with the last few years of the GMC Yukons, a lot of people said they didn't like that. So not going to be an issue here. And here is the look across the entirety of the dash area. We are going to have a rear view camera mirror, so if you need that, it's there. If you want to use it as a conventional mirror, that is there as well. That is adjustable, by the way. You can make quite a few adjustments to height and all that kind of stuff as far as the position goes. Now, our 13.4-inch infotainment screen is really nice. I like it. It's easy to use. It's easy to learn. You have Google built in, Google Assistant. So you say, hey, well, you know, that name right there. That way I don't set any devices off in your homes or anything like that. You also have Android Auto right here, Apple CarPlay right here, and Google Maps is built in, and you can change what's over here on this side of the screen. You just can't get rid of it. You can't use this across the entirety of the screens. I've had people ask about that. Some people would like to do that. I can't say that I blame you, but unfortunately you can't do that. You'll wirelessly pair your smartphone, and while we're here, let's go through all of our different camera views, because there are quite a few. We have the front and the rear view cameras. You have your overhead view, as you can see on the screen right there, and then we're going to have another overhead view, but more focused on the front and the rear. Also your side view mirror cameras, two different views where that's concerned. And makes it a lot easier to hitch up to a trailer, doesn't it? I like that. That's pretty cool. And then we're going to go right here and we can use our bed camera, and you can zoom in right there. That will make it easier to hitch up to a fifth wheel or a gooseneck, depending on what you're hauling. That is really nice. I like that. Over here, we're going to find a few more things. You can actually go in and adjust your climate right here, but I like the fact that we have physical controls right here. That just makes things so much easier. You have your ventilated seats, your heated seats, Very nice. And I like that these trucks know what's going on with the atmosphere outside. So if your truck is not going to fit in your garage, which I know a lot of these trucks for most of us don't fit in our garages because they're not big enough, but it will automatically turn on the ventilated or the heated seats depending on the temperature outside. Nice to have that. Same thing with your heated steering wheel, which there is your heated steering wheel button. Now, let's talk about some of the settings here. You have all your connections, notifications, apps, all that good stuff is going to be here. But the thing I really like to focus on here is vehicle, because there are some features I know a lot of you like to know about. You can turn buckle to drive on or off, use your seatbelt when you're driving. But for instance, when I'm driving around here on the lot at the dealership where I'm filming today, I don't need my seatbelt on, so it's nice to have that turned off. The rear seat reminder, you can turn that on or off, whatever you need to do. But here's something that I know a lot of you like to know about your collision detection systems, your driving aids. We have automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, adaptive cruise go notifier, lane change alert, park assist, your park assist tow bar, and rear cross traffic alert. You do have the alert seat here with this truck, by the way. So what that means is it's going to vibrate in the appropriate area. If somebody is in your blind spot on the left-hand side of the truck, you'll feel that on the left-hand side of the seat, and you'll also see the illuminated indicator right there with your blind spot monitoring. Going back to vehicle, because there's something else I wanted to show you right here. Under comfort and convenience, if you want your mirrors to automatically fold in when you lock the truck and unfold when you unlock the truck, that needs to be set to on. And if you don't, you can set that to off. Some very simple features. You do have teen driver mode and all those different things here as well. So depending on your situation, that's easy to deal with. And with the AT4 trim level, you're going to see a little bit of a different look here. A different starter button for the engine to turn the engine on and off. And the air conditioning controls are angled back as opposed to being at a 90-degree angle. You'll have several one-touch buttons right here. I think you know what pretty much everything is right there. Again, if you want to open the tailgate, you can do that here, but you can't bring it back up with the power feature if you have the multi-pro tailgate. A little bit of storage right here, a little more storage there, and then we're going to have some USB options. We're also going to have everything here for our cup holders. A nice large center console with the AT4 logo. You'll also find the AT4 logo stitched into the headrests, only on the front seats. I think that should be on the back seats as well. And something else, if you have seat memory for the driver's seat, you should also have it on the passenger side. I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second. It's okay to laugh at me instead of with me on that one. But in my opinion, especially at the price point of this truck, you should have it on the passenger side if you have it on the driver's side. And speaking of the price point, what is the price of this truck? $88,060. How big of a console do you get for $88,060? Well, there's no differences where that's concerned, but you have the removable tray right there. It's the same on all trim levels. You also have your power outlet, your wireless charging pad, and a couple more USB options. There is one thing that is missing from the interior of these trucks, regardless of trim level, and that is a 12-volt power outlet. You can buy a USB to 12-volt adapter, which is what I did in my own truck because I have a dash cam and I couldn't use it otherwise. And how about deploying and keeping those power assist steps deployed? I told you about that earlier. We're going to go to settings, then we're going to vehicle, and then we're going to scroll down here until we see power assist steps, and there they are. And we're going to go to move power assist steps. They're set to stow right now. If you open or set them to deploy, they'll stay open or stay deployed, and then when you're ready to stow them again, they'll go back to their normal functionality that way. And I don't know how well the camera will pick it up, but hopefully you can see the head-up display. You can change the brightness, position, and the information that is displayed. All right, let's get out on the road for a quick test drive with this truck. One thing I really like about these trucks with the 6.6 liter under the hood is that they are very quick. When you need to get up to speed, they get up to speed without any trouble at all. May not be able to throw it into a corner like a sports car, but when you need to get up to speed, you can do that. A couple of things I didn't mention earlier in the video. You have a manually adjustable steering wheel. It is tilt and telescopically adjustable, but this isn't the power adjustable setup, but I don't think that's a big deal for most people. And I mentioned that you have multiple driving modes, multiple being 2. I showed you where that drive mode selector is earlier in the video. You have normal and off-road, so those are your driving modes. And another question that I know a lot of people are going to have is, what is the difference in the ride quality? Keep in mind, my daily driver is a 2024 GMC 2500 SLT. The same basic truck, but it doesn't have the suspension lift, it doesn't have the difference with the shocks and all of that kind of stuff here. So overall, I really can't tell a difference in the ride quality. And I drive my truck every single day, so I think that's one of the times when the test drive is very useful. So that's my verdict where that is concerned. Overall, a very enjoyable truck to drive. It is nice to have those driving aids and the sensors, the safety alert seat, all of those great things. You really feel large and in charge driving around in these trucks. They're a lot of fun to drive. I find it pretty easy to get around with for the most part. No, it doesn't have the tightest turning radius, obviously, but overall, it is a very enjoyable truck to drive. It gets the job done. It's a really great multitasking truck because it's great for the long road trips with the family. It's comfortable for the most part. Yeah, it has a little bit of a stiff ride to it, but you're going to expect that with something like this. But it's not so bad that the front passengers and even the rear passengers can't handle it. And overall, I give it a high mark. And that's one reason why I bought one for myself, is because they are so nice. I like the features. I like the way it drives. I like the way it rides. It's an enjoyable truck to drive overall, and it is very versatile in so many different ways. And here's something that can be of use to those of you who live in an extremely cold climate, or you just have cold temperatures during the winter below, say, 24 degrees. Right here is where you plug in your extension cord, and you can keep your engine nice and warm with the block heater in those times where the temperatures are really low. That way it's easier to start. Everything's better off that way. Tell me what you think about this truck. Is it the ultimate luxury workhorse? It definitely has some great capabilities, that's for sure, even more so off-road than other trim levels of the 2500 HD. So tell me what your thoughts are. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this truck for the day, and a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And subscribe to the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel if you haven't already. That way you don't miss any future videos. If you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.